team and do the best possible job for the firm's clients on criminal traffic matters. He limits his practice to his expertise in criminal and municipal law. He handles all levels of criminal cases. And let me see if there's any other information. He has served, let's see, as a municipal judge in Valley Park, a municipal judge in Hanley Hills, a provisional municipal judge in Rock Hill, a provisional municipal judge in Eureka, a prosecuting attorney in Velda Village Hills, and a prosecuting attorney in Country Club Hills. So that's the only one. I had one other one, and I found an article in the Post-Dispatch where this other one had some issues in the village of De Pere, and actually there was a lawsuit against the city.
Mark Pedroli?
I think that needs to.
He's not conflicted.
Oh well, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I thought you just
no, actually,
ruled him
that's
out.
not him. That's not the one.
Oh, was it Sandstone?
No, it was
O'Keefe?
Kevin O'Keefe.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So so that's when I saw there were some, you know,
right.
I thought, okay, then I only got this one that I could find. So
actually, Kevin O'Keefe has some past experience with the city of Wildwood going way back.
So would you consider that a?
No,
that was
yeah.
What firm? I'm sorry.
This
Can
one
I
here.
say you said Cannon and what?
Cannon and Toland.
Is this in Eureka?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You know it. All right.
Do you have any
Yeah,
background?
will you recommend, I'm sorry,
Wait
public
till
comment.
public comment,
okay.
because
Yeah,
I want your feedback.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just wanted to get the second name. That's all.
If there's information that, you know, anyone knows that can help us with making a decision, certainly say that. But again, that's what I came down to.
And this is why, and this is why I wanted to move public participation before next steps, so that we can get your feedback before.
Okay. So that's what I ended up with, just the one.
Okay, so to be clear though, you have not spoken to Stephen, so we don't know if he's conflicted or not.
That's right. I have
Okay.
not spoken. I don't know
All right.
his availability. I did not know whether or not we were going to go ahead and speak to attorneys. I wanted to just come up with a name as I was asked, and that's what I brought forth.
Okay.
Up to you.
Okay, I got Mark Pedroli. I've spoken, I talked to Chet Cleveland's office, Mark Pedroli, and Bob Herman's office. Herman's out. I don't think he was interested, actually. Chet Cleveland's office was out on a conflict. I did speak with an attorney at that, and I gave a preliminary of the task, and then they ran the names and opted out because of the conflict.
Did they also run firms associated with named?
I'm sorry?
Did they also run names of
all
businesses
of the names.
or firms? Or?
Well, he ran the names of the principal parties involved, and
right.
beyond that, I mean, I don't know how extrapolated a conflict we're going to be able to, wind out. But
right. Okay.
So just to backtrack, you said he is part of another firm with multiple attorneys.
Mark Pedroli is an independent.
He's independent.
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Pedroli.
And then the others that you mentioned were others that you
Ruled
spoke
out.
with. You ruled out.
Yeah.
And who were they?
Chuck Cleveland's office, excuse me.
Chuck Cleveland?
Chet.
Chet.
ChetPleban.
Okay.
And Bob Herman.
And both you ruled
Robert
out?
Herman.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But then that was due to conflict, she said?
Disinterest, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of them? Okay.
No.
No.
One was
Chat was
conflicted.
conflict.
Got it, okay.
Bob was not interested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what is it that...
Pedroli seems like a very good pick. He's a resident of De Pere.
Okay.
He is not their city attorney. He does represent municipalities, and he has a discounted rate for government, so that was a good thing. He did, and I have attached an article that he was outlining a case that he was involved in against De Pere, and it was a sunshine law ordinance, and he won. I believe they settled it. But he's very versed in municipal law. He's very interested in this case. I sent him a link. I sent him the hard drive information that we received from the city. I sent him a link to the charter. I sent him a link to the ordinances that are identified, so he could review that. And, you know, the code that you can access on the Facebook, I'm sorry, the webpage. So he can navigate that. We talked about the goals, as I said earlier, and I said I want to emphasize, though, that the most important part of this is to receive the most objective analysis possible. And because this is an important moment in our city's history here, for a examination of what I would consider a very important and serious infraction or potential infraction, and certainly a serious complaint. And as a city, we need to show that we understand the gravity of this, and that every resident after this is decided has the assurances that its government seeks to protect their rights as written in this city, so that everyone that files for a candidacy receives equal treatment and expectation of enforcement. Because otherwise, if we don't have that, we don't have much of a city. And this case particularly is undergirds an election scenario, which is really important to this city. Local elections, municipal government elections are extremely important. People like to, say, well, it's not that big of a deal, it's just 700-800 votes. The most important 700 to 800 votes that can be cast in this country.
That stands between us and a city that doesn't
watch So I impressed upon him the value of our institution needs this examination to be as objective as possible. And he understood that. Coming from the pair, where he obviously is an advocate for fairness and the upholding of the Sunshine Law, I think he expressed to me a very high priority for enforcement and fairness and equity. And I was rather impressed. Political strategy. He lists areas of practice as pretty typical for most independent attorneys. They cover everything from estates to land use, political strategy, but he does do government work.
Okay.
And I've included his contact information. I've included his webpage, and I've also included that article. So that's for you guys to review.
Oh, great.
Obviously, I'm going to be a strong advocate for his selection because I put a lot of time into this. And a lot of research, and I think you know that I take this job very serious, and I pride myself on preparation, and I bring that same level of commitment to this investigation and to the selection process. And based on those criteria, I would really seriously, I'd like to have my selection seriously considered.
Okay. I would actually like an opportunity to look through this. Do you mind if we take a few minutes to
Take all the time to
look through this? And
it's just the article that was in the
right.
paper.
Yeah. No. I'd like to look at this. Was there any article that came with Stephen Clark that you brought?
I did my searches basically looking for attorneys with municipal experience.
Okay.
Several other criteria.
Did you find cases that Steve Clark had?
I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back.
I don't have access to that.
Okay. All right. I'm wondering if other folks might want to look at this as well. Maybe we can make some copies. I don't even know what
Secretary?
Yeah. Would you guys like copies of this?
I read it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
if anybody wants to look at this,
Yeah,
you're welcome.
I would strongly suggest that you would make copies to provide to the Ed and Public Works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or your minutes.
Yeah. Let me take it.
Yes.
you guys actually talk about this particular case?
No, we did not. It's not really as germane because it's a sunshine law complaint now.
Well, but it does, there are elements of the complaints that I think relate to this, and that, you know, the issue here is transparency.
Well, right.
And that's part of the issue with...
And part of Mr. Salvatore's challenge has been sunshine related because, you know, accessing documents to support his claim has been a problem. And but it is not necessarily part of the complaint. I don't know. I didn't gather that sunshine was his complaint with us.
Right.
I think he took that up with the state, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, I guess we could incorporate it if you felt like it needed to be examined, but I was just taking it from what was submitted to us.
Well, and again, this is to go back to the earlier discussion, this is why I say that we should talk about complaints in the whole incident, not just a subset of them, right? So not
So you
the
want to
ethics
include
ones
the
that...
sunshine as part of the...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Point of order, you're not here to decide that.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it does,
Right.
it does
As
play
in public
into
works.
who we might choose. So, okay.
I mean, maybe what we should do, shoot for as a goal tonight, is to come out with a quote recommendation bullet points. And if you want to recommend that the committee of Admin and Public Works consider adding sunshine law violation potentials as part of an investigation, then we should take that back as part of a recommendation from this committee. I mean, you could certainly do that. I think he's right. I don't think we can decide that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
If you want to expand the investigation, then...
Well, to me, it's not expanding it, because to me, the action at the committee, or at the council, was to have Admin Public Works establish the procedures and the investigator to investigate complaints
I think
related
it's an
to Mr.
expansion,
Salvatore.
if you look at the motion that was made, that
To
started
us.
this, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's an expansion in that regard.
But not an expansion to what admin, or what the council
No, but,
sent the,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, our focus was just see if we can
Thanks.
narrow that down.
Okay.
Obviously, we've got
I agree, I think we
two
got enough to
names.
deal with here.
So we've got
Let me-
two names now. The only thing is I didn't call, so
Mhm.
I haven't had that conversation. I
Yeah.
don't know about the conflicts, if there exist any with this one. I just saw what I thought was a good listing of criteria that seemed like, okay.
I'd like to
seems
make a
someone who
motion.
is-
I'd like to make a
Sure.
motion.
Yeah.
I would like to move that, that we consider Mark Pedroli, and, because we've had 3 weeks here to do this in sort of investigation and questioning. I would like to move that we consider Mark Pedroli, and that in between now and Tuesday, you guys call him and ask him your specific questions. And then if you feel comfortable at the end of that, when we get to admin, this is not the motion. This is an explanation of the motion.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you where I'm going
Air
with
it out.
it. I'll tell you where I'm going, and then we can condense it.
Yeah.
And then when we get to admin, you can come with your own personal contact information with him and make your suggestion then.
That's a good
Well,
point.
why don't we then do both? You can take this one, call this one, and then we can make the decision then just like that.
Well-
Because I haven't even called this one.
I
so that would
understand,
give me an
and
opportunity.
I'm not opposing that. I'm probably not going to call him, because
Why not?
because my period of calling is already over. I've spent the last 3 weeks doing this. You guys didn't do that. So if you want to call him now, you certainly can. Nothing prevented you from doing that before. But I'm confident that Mr. Pedroli is the pick for me. Okay? I'm only encouraging you to contact him now, because we have a window between now and Tuesday where you can do that, and then we can be prepared for the next meeting.
You wanted to expedite this.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I may interject myself, as a member of the Admin Public
Actually, I'm sorry, do we have a second for the motion?
Well,
I think
we
we're
don't
just,
have that yet.
okay.
So you did.
So you know where
that's
I'm
not a
headed with
motion yet.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay,
let's have a
sorry.
little discussion, and then once we have a consensus,
Dave,
I will
I'm
make a
sorry.
motion.
if you come back to Admin and Public Works and say, the subcommittee talked to one attorney only, okay?
That's not true.
I'm going to push back and say, folks.
I talked to more than
Okay,
one.
all right, please. I'm going to push back and say, folks, I don't think, there's thousands and thousands of attorneys out there. You only talk to one? Come on. He may be perfect, but I would push back hard and say, you didn't do your work, okay? Now,
I would
if the three of you talk to both of these and have consensus among you that you did your research, these were two prospects, we all three talked to them, okay? There's consensus from the committee. Our recommendation is Joe Dokes, or whatever, Jane Dokes, okay? And because we've all talked about it, that would satisfy me. But if you come back to the council or a committee next week and just say, we have one guy and you know, we didn't really get together, I'm not saying you can do both.
Okay, I've already talked to 3 attorneys, okay? Hold on. I'm not opposed to, look, I took this subcommittee instruction literally,
Serious.
okay? I was told to go and find some people, and I felt 3 was a good selection, okay?
Talk to them.
Well, I'm talking to all of you. So I did my due diligence, I did my task. I will certainly talk to your attorney. But
It's not mine, I'm
well,
telling you.
the name that you brought
Yeah.
forward.
I haven't even talked to him, so I don't know, you know, what his...
I would disagree with the characterization that we are bringing, that if, at this point, my submission only makes it back, that it's really only one attorney. I think that there were opportunities, and you're right. If you only come back with one, you haven't done your work, okay? If you come back with none, you haven't done your work, okay? So I've talked to 3. I've narrowed it down. They've narrowed themselves down to the one because the other was conflicted, the other was disinterested. So I don't think that it's one attorney, but if you want me to call him, I will do that. But I have to tell you, this is frustrating because I spent the last 3 weeks doing this, okay? And now I'm going to spend the next 3 days trying to track somebody down.
You didn't run across that person.
It doesn't matter. I did my due diligence whether I called him or not.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, did you? Oh, okay, so it's irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant whether I called him or not.
Mr. Chairman, you have 2 potential candidates that have been brought forward. One has been vetted to some extent. Yet another one has not been. I know it's extra work, but why don't all 3 of you make a point to contact both of these 2 people that you talked to? Because potentially, I guess, they both would be a possible candidate. You don't even know if Mr. Clark is capable of doing it or he would even want to do it, and you don't either. So I think that, and all 3, and you don't know any of it, so
Yeah.
I think you need to do that, and there's a certain amount of correctness on Mr. Bertolino's point that you come back and you say, look, Tammy says, I did 3 people, this is the guy I found that could do it. You found one person, you all 3 have looked at those 2 people that were potentials, and you've eliminated one or maybe even both. You know, and you come back to the committee and say, this is what we're recommending to you. I think we'll feel a little bit more comfortable that you've done your job.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm good with these 2 people to look into them.
Is that
call
okay?
them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, this is the first time the subcommittee's meeting, so we haven't really had a discussion to say, how are we going to do this?
And I understand that. That's why I'm suggesting that you do it this way, so that but you guys have got to get going here, okay?
Okay, so if it's okay with you guys, I would like to move into public comment and then come back to motions to take action. Is that good?
So we're moving public comment in front of next steps, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a motion to do that.
No, we did.
Did you have a motion to move it?
Well, we
first
moved it
time?
to before miscellaneous.
Do it.
Just do it.
Okay.
Make
All
it
right.
quick. It's just-
Well then, I move to move this up before next steps. Anybody have an issue with that? All in favor?
Well, you need a second.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Reason being that's your published agenda.
Okay. I thought we had done that. It's okay.
Keep it straight.
All right, so let's go into public comment.
Well, all those in
and-
favor say aye, and you...
I said aye.
Okay, aye, sorry. I was doing minutes while it, so I didn't say. Go ahead.
So, sir, you want to speak?
Yeah, am I the only one? No, I want to. Can you-
We don't have speaker cards, but if you could just...
Yes, we do.
Oh, don't say that.
Of course we do. We're gonna need-
Who are you?
And you better give your
Write your
address
name.
so that somebody
Just
can
write
come
your
and
name
find
and-
you.
and-
Trust me, it'll get read otherwise. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a
I've got
couple,
We know who you are, just write your name.
just a couple comments.
Go ahead, Larry.
Relative to the sunshine
Oh,
law,
Wait.
I thought Larry was going.
No, Bill, go.
relative to including the sunshine law complaint and this person's investigation. The Attorney General has an open investigation right now. The Attorney General is interviewing people. You don't know if Mr. Salvatore is pursuing that legally also.
Right.
So for an outside person to come in and to start injecting himself into that investigation could lead to some problems.
Actually, on the bequest of the city council, that would be a problem, wouldn't it?
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah. Certainly the city attorney. So you might just consider it. Second look, you know we have done this in the past. We have gone outside and brought in a special investigator, an attorney, to do an investigation on a complaint against a city council person. And that investigator came back with a report and provided reasoning why the city council should find no fault. I would hope that a report from this investigator gives an explanation and reasoning, details why or why not, and not just some broad brush statement, okay? I have concluded this for these reasons, to make it clear to the public and for the future reference. One of the things we found out from the previous investigation was that if documents reside on the city server, it doesn't matter whether anybody's ever seen them, as long as they reside on the city server. Well, nobody knew that.
Yeah, and that's a requirement of the...
Right, it was a recent
Mhm.
opinion from the Attorney General. Nobody knew that, okay, but this outside investigator did some investigation. Here's the reason. Oh, okay, that's the reason. Now we know. We're more educated. Somebody mentioned Eureka. I would say that this is probably going 2 steps too far, but I know an awful lot about Eureka, almost as much as Wildwood, because I'm so close. And I would suggest that any attorney who's had any dealings with the city of Eureka, you have to start questioning whether one of the potential targets, quote unquote, in this investigation might have some relationship, because that person's corporate office is in Eureka, and that person is close to the mayor of Eureka. So any attorney who's done work with the city of Eureka may have a potential influence.
I was kind of thinking that too.
Okay.
And just to clarify, I don't know that this person has done any work with the city of Eureka. It doesn't appear that over
No,
here.
it is
The
on
only
here.
thing I know
Just in
is the
general,
location.
just in general.
Provisional municipal judge.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay. Well, okay,
So-
good to factor in. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
No problem. Take this without offense. As this person's going through his work, I would hope that an official or an employee who's not party to this in any way, shape, or form does not have any contact with this person. By that I mean some council person who's not even really involved in this, okay, picks up the phone and starts talking to this person, this investigator. They have no business doing that.